So in this video we're going to add the eye into the eye socket. So I've pre-created the eye that I want us to use, and the reason for that is I want there to be a level of consistency within the design, within all of our designs, so that when we collect them at the end they all look like they're from the same universe, which is obviously a really important feature of design, is having that consistency between characters. So to import the eye, go to File, Import, and once you've downloaded your scene, you will see it says eye. In my list it's just over here. If you click import, it will bring in all of the assets from the scene. So in this case it's included the textures and the object itself. So the eye will be probably a different size for everybody. As you can see, it's quite big compared to my character. So just by using the R scale tool, by pushing R, we can rescale that to the size that we want. So I'm going to turn on my settings here. I'm just going to take this back to 1, so you can see in its natural state. And I want to reposition the ball, the eyeball, just inside. So I'm going to look at it from the side. That's too far forward. So probably around here. It's probably going to be my positioning, and I'm just going to bring it inside that inner ring. So if we just take this off, as you can see, this inner ring, we want it to follow that shape. So if we just go back to view selected, and I'm just going to reposition that roughly around here, I think. So as you can see from the side, we are quite far back, and this is the same thing for most of the eye area. And what we're going to do is actually build this ring at the edge on around the actual eyeball. Okay, so to do this, we're going to go back to our object, we're going to select the eye, and we're going to put the magnet on. The same thing we do with our quad draw. And I'm going to go to vertex mode, and now vertex mode, as soon as I move the vertex, it will snap to the eye. Okay, so I just want you to bring all of those in. Let's just bring that down slightly to there, bring that one up to there, and we'll do this side. You can see how far back this is in comparison. So we'll take this right forward, take this to the third one, and we'll just do the same here. We'll just bring those in, because obviously these are supposed to be the crease points of the eye. And we'll take that forward. So this is going to take a little while to do, but again, that, think about the end result, think about the practice that you'll be getting, and there we go. So generally, if you can't see the vertex, if you just click around that area, it will select it, because it will treat this as invisible. If you want to be able to see that, obviously you can go to your X-ray, you should be able to see behind the eye. So you just have to deviate between the yellow frame of the eyeball and yeah, so if we turn the shading back on, it can be quite confusing. So if you use that just to select the vertex, you should be fine. So I'm going to bring these forward, and what I want to do is just start to shape the fact that the eye goes back. Oh, that's a bit too far. And we can just start to bring that kind of shape in to the eye. Again, they sort of pass over each other, so we just start to bring those back. And then from the side, we're going to start to get a decent eye shape. So now obviously these are quite far up, so what we're going to do is just we need to turn off the magnet. So I'm just going to bring these in a little bit. Again, we want to be careful, we don't want to go too crazy with this, because obviously we do need to be careful of selecting vertices at the back here, as I've already done, as you can see. So do just be careful. It's probably best to use Q and just select them one by one, then revert to W, and reposition them individually if the translate tool's getting in the way. Okay, we can just check that. Cool. And yeah, okay. Right, and so eventually we're going to have the eyelid hanging over this part of the eye. So the eye is effectively going to be shut, or at least over this section. So what we're going to do is turn back on the magnet. So you can see what we've done here is actually just define that shape. And sort of saying, right, does that look okay from the side? I think so. These probably need moving forward a little bit. First thing we're going to do is actually build that shape over the eye. So the eyelid just comes over this section here. Okay. Now, this face is in its relaxed mode, so once we add that in, it should follow quite naturally. As we're not animating the face, we can do this in a slightly different way to before. So, well, than what we'll do for animating. So what we're going to do is select the eyeball as the magnet again, go back into our vertex mode, and this time, in fact, let's try edge. What if we go to edge, and we can just slide this over the eye, bring that in. Obviously go back to it, vertex mode, because once we've moved that, where's it gone? It should be right out here. There we go. And let's go into the back of the face. So let's just undo that. Let's just undo that. Right, let's try again. There we go. We want it right over that eyeball. So I'm going to push E, hit rotate, and I'm literally just going to pull that up and over this section here. Good. And the vertex is on top of the face, which is the main thing. And I'm just going to get this piece here, pull that over. And same thing here, pull that over. And pull this down, and this down, till they are just on that inside. Cool, and the face, you know, and the eye looks in its sort of resting, the eye looks like it's in its resting position. Now it's not too great at the moment, we've still got to do some tweaking, so if you're thinking what the hell does this look like, don't worry. I am going to bring, take off that part there and just bring all of these sections down slightly, but in fact actually it's going to lose that definition of the brow, so we'll skip that bit for now. We'll just bring these bits underneath forward slightly, so we'll just select object mode again, select the eye, make that a live surface, and just bring these vertexes down here forward. Slightly. Okay. So around there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go to object mode, we're going to select the face, and we're going to go to show and isolate selected, so we just want the face, we don't want to see the eyeball. And you can see it's sort of messed up the inside a little bit where it's been connected, so just grab the smooth tool. My settings are quite small, but obviously this is dependent on your own eye, and I'm just going to go inside here and just start tidying this up a little bit. Obviously we don't want it to be too disruptive. We're not going to see this part, but I just, you know, we just want to make sure that the rest of our model is clean and tidy and working and not going to cause us any issues at all. So we can bring that in. Okay, so what we need to do is add more geometry around this section for the eyelid. So we're going to go to Insert Edge Loop Tool. I'll go to Mesh, Edit Mesh, no Mesh Tools, and we're just going to add in one here. which we're then going to push the scale tool and just bring. Okay, what's happened there? I still have the eye connected, so let's just take that off and just bring that in slightly, and I'm just going to bring that out slightly, just make a little sort of cushion. And then we're going to do the same thing again, so I'm going to set this icon over here, which, or you can push G on the keyboard. I'm going to add this ring in around here, okay, and this time I'm going to push W and I'm going to pull that out, just make it a bit softer, and we'll just see how that looks. So just turn off show, we may add another one in there. So I'm just going to push the scale tool and just bring that in, and W again, just bring that out slightly. Okay, and then yeah, from there I think we'll add another one in. So go to mesh tools, mesh tools, of course, not mesh, and we're just going to add one in there. And we are going to literally we're going to keep that where it is. I think for now actually we'll bring it forward just a tiny bit, just to offset it, make it feel more natural. And then with this section on the outside here, we're going to select all of those and we're going to take them in a little bit more, okay, just to give it that feel of separation from the actual eyelids, okay. So obviously what we'd probably normally do is bring these creases right in together and really make, you know, that definition around there a little bit more. But for this model, this modelling, this exercise, we're not. So because as I say, we're not modelling a face, so we've got now a really cool looking eye shape, okay. But again, we'd probably bring these in tighter, make it less obvious. But I think that's pretty cool. So you should have your eye in there now. And obviously the last thing we need to do is center this pivot so we can duplicate it once we build the rest of half of the body. So I'm going to go to panel, going to go back to going to go back to front view. So we need that for the grid, and what we're going to do is push insert. Okay, now if you're using a Mac, you will see where the traditional sort of enter and delete key are. To your right hand side, 2 arrows, one pointing up and slightly to the left, I believe, and one pointing down and slightly to the right. If you push the one facing up, it will go to, that's the equivalent of pushing insert on the PC. So if you're on PC, push insert. Then what we do is hold X, which is, as you can see up here, is snap to grid. Okay, I haven't explained that bit so far. And if you select and move it across, it will snap to that center point. And if you push that arrow again or push insert again, it will go back to the world select. Okay, it won't change the pivot point. So in the next tutorial, we are going to add the two sections together and look at texturing our character. Okay, so I'll see you there.